Hello, everyone, and welcome to the big show. This is Investing and Trading Live, sponsored by Minneapolis Trading Academy. If you're a first-time listener, thank you for stopping by. My name is Josh Lilquist, and we are happy to have you with us today. You know, it's the giving season, and it's holiday time. We have Christmas coming, and no, I do not have old Saint Nick in here, but I do have my good friend Mr. Al Connickson with me today. Al, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well, Josh, and thank you for not mistaking me for old Saint Nick.
Well, it's a good thing we're on the radio because that belly keeps getting bigger and bigger every year, doesn't it?
Are you talking about your belly or?
I was looking in the mirror. God darn it!
There you
go. Golly gee, they say. Jokes on me.
I hope you're doing well too. I'm
doing fantastic, and it's the holiday season, Christmas time. It's the most wonderful time of the year, and that's what I want to discuss here today on the show, with the possible Santa Claus rally coming. I mean, they talk about it every single year. I mean, quite frankly, we've almost had a Santa Claus rally the last month or month and a half, really since the bottom of the market at the end of October.
Right.
So we'll call it 2 months of a rally. Dow Jones hitting all-time highs. The NASDAQ, piercing all-time highs, just ever so slightly the way it looks. The S&P's not quite there, as according to, depending on when you listen to the show. We know markets can move very fast.
They do. Well, they certainly do this week. Last week, I should say.
Exactly, yeah. But the Russell is lagging behind. So that's what I want to discuss here today is the difference in some of these markets, whether it's stocks, options, futures, Forex, how individuals like the public, us as retail investors, how we can trade them and how we can take advantage of these great financial markets, whether you're looking for an income strategy or maybe it's a wealth strategy, 401k, IRA protection, it doesn't matter. But let's discuss that today. Before we do that, our sponsor, MinneapolisTradingAcademy.com, been around for many years, 26 years to be exact, on their running to 27 here coming up, and just training people right here locally in Minneapolis how to trade and invest. So, Al, you mentioned the great moves this week in the last couple of weeks. Dow Jones hitting all-time highs, NASDAQ right there as well, S&Ps. We're getting close to it. If you haven't listened to the show live, depending on when you listen to the show, we could be at all-time highs and the S&P's coming up. What's your take on the market? I know we had unemployment claims on Friday. Let's hear your take.
Well, you know what? This has been a crazy week, this last week in the market leading up to the week of Christmas. Typically, we look forward to a Santa Claus rally, which goes into the first week of January. What I think right now, there's that man with the belly.
Yeah, that was me, yes.
What I look at this market as, it's like a little kid on sugar. It's a sugar high. People are anticipating things that aren't necessarily guaranteed, but they're assuming that's going to happen. What I'm talking about are rate cuts by the Fed.
Yeah, so that's not like the song "Watermelon Sugar High." It's a kid high, candy high.
It's like you have a child.
I do,
and I would challenge anybody that has a kid or a grandkid to say that they can give them sugar and it doesn't have an impact on them. That's what the market's doing. It's reacting like it's on sugar. On Wednesday of this last week, we saw the Dow right near the end of the day. The Dow, the NASDAQ, and the S&P 500 dropped off a cliff. The Dow was down, I think, almost 500 points that one day. Well, and then on Thursday morning, I believe the market opened up high, but
it gapped up about halfway in that trading activity.
Right. We've seen things like this happen before, where the market actually, back, I think it was in 2018, there was a 4,000 point drop in about a 10-day period in the Dow, and then one day it came back over 1,000 points, and then the next day it gave it all back. The point I'm making here is that the market is unpredictable right now. We've seen these highs, and a lot of people are jumping in. What we've seen is that the public was taking money out of the market for a while, and then as the market started to have its ride up, because people thought that the rate hikes were over, that the Fed was going to start cutting rates, money started going back into the market. That's what we call FOMO, fear of missing out. People saw this market rise up. Maybe they were sitting on the sideline, didn't want to miss out on any more. And I think last week I mentioned that this is the point at which you need to be protected. You need to have a strategy that is going to allow you to benefit no matter what happens in the market, whether it's going up or going down. And this is a good time for you to ask yourself if you have that. Even Austin Goolsbee, who's one of he's president of the Chicago Fed, he said he's confused as to why the markets interpreted last week's and the week before this last week's Fed meeting as so positive. He said he thought that maybe the market or the investors were actually looking at what they thought the Fed was going to say or hoped that the Fed was going to say. So the market's pricing in 5 to 6 rate cuts next year. The Fed's saying that they may do 3, but that's not a guarantee. They may not do any. So we're going to see a volatile market, Josh. We saw it this last week. That's going to continue, which is a fantastic opportunity for people that have the right strategy to take advantage of it. People that are just the long-term buy and hold are just going to see themselves whipsawed and just hope that things work out for them over time.
Yeah, which isn't the best strategy.
No,
anyway.
these are, when you see the market, when you see the Dow go down, 400, 500 points in a day, come back maybe a couple hundred points the next day. Those are all opportunities if you know the right strategy.
Yep.
Where do you learn the right strategy? Well, that's what we do. We teach people how to take advantage of the different things that the market can do, the different strategies that are available to take advantage of markets no matter which way they're moving.
That's right. And we agree on a lot of things on the show here. I'm gonna disagree with you just a little bit here today, and this is good for our listeners.
Here we go.
So you mentioned that the markets are unpredictable right now. I'm going to say they're never predictable. But here's a problem. The public thinks it is predictable. But what we can do is put odds in our favor, probabilities in our favor, have a strategy that's designed to follow what the market is actually doing. That's what we train, is strategies designed for that. And we have a workshop specifically on that, Al. So I disagree with you a little bit, but we're on the same page.
No,
because
we don't really disagree. I have always said the markets are unpredictable, they're irrational, and they can stay irrational longer than you can stay solvent.
Exactly. But that's why we need strategies. And that's why we have workshops to teach you different techniques and strategies on how the market actually works and how to utilize that to hopefully a benefit that whatever that you're looking for. And you know what? It doesn't always have to be monetary. So I want to invite you to this workshop that we have at our local academy here, simply by just texting the word investing to the number 210-210 for 2 seats. Text investing to the number 210-210 for 2 seats, or simply go to investwithota.com and pick your own seat there. Al, coming up next, let's talk about those other markets: futures, Forex, options, strategies for income, and also IRA and 401k strategies. This is Josh and Al, Investing and Trading Live. We will be right back.